I was raised Republican, not just in how I voted, it was who I was. Faith, family, fiscal responsibility. That's what it meant to be conservative in my house. I believed the Republican Party stood for liberty, for free enterprise, for the Constitution. I believed in America first, but not the kind of America first that became a slogan under Donald Trump. I believed in service, honor, and character. But slowly, and then all at once, the party changed, and I had to ask myself a question I never imagined asking. When did conservatism become a cover for corruption? When Trump took office, I wanted to give him a chance. A lot of us did. We hoped the weight of the presidency would sober him, that maybe the office would shape the man. But instead, the man reshaped the office into a tool for self-enrichment and abuse of power. I stayed longer than I should have. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, over and over again. But what finally broke me wasn't just the chaos, the lying, or the cruelty. It was the corruption. Let me walk you through just a fraction of what we've seen. When Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, he didn't concede. He claimed the system was rigged and incited a violent attack on our Capitol. But even then, many Republicans stayed silent. Some cheered. What came after has been worse. In the first 100 days of a potential second Trump term, we watched acts of corruption that would make a dictator blush. On day one, he began gutting the institutions meant to hold power accountable. He fired inspectors general, eliminated whistleblower offices, disbanded the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the agency protecting you from predatory banks. Why? Because those institutions would have stood in the way of what came next. A $400 million jet. That's what Trump requested from Qatar, the richest private jet in the world, complete with gold trim, spiral staircases, and 9 bathrooms. The plan? Briefly pass it through U.S. government hands, then quietly let it become Trump's personal property, a violation of the Constitution's Emoluments Clause and an unprecedented abuse of power. And Qatar said yes. Why? Because the last time they didn't play ball with Trump, they were blockaded by neighboring countries, with Trump's silent approval. They knew, cross him, and you risk your national security. But the jet was just the start. At the same time, the UAE, another Middle Eastern ally, invested $2 billion into Trump's new cryptocurrency firm, a company run by Trump's own associates, his Middle East advisor's son, and 60% owned by Trump's family. And what did the UAE get in return? Advanced U.S. microchips, military-grade drones, Chinook helicopters, with zero requirement to stop funding the brutal civil war in Sudan. Trump literally sold American national security for cash. And back home, he pardoned wealthy allies who donated to his campaign. He fired regulators who stood in the way of Elon Musk. He sold seats at his dinner table for $5 million a pop. He used the White House lawn to promote Tesla cars. He promised VIP White House tours to people who bought his meme coin. And after posting "Buy Now" online, the market jumped. His friends made a killing. And so did he. This is insider trading. This is selling access. This is open, unchecked corruption. And the Republican Party, they cheered. While our country struggled, while families were drowning in medical debt, while veterans waited months for care, while infrastructure crumbled, Donald Trump spent 23% of his presidency golfing. Nearly 1 in every 4 days on the green. And not just any golf courses, his own. Taxpayers footed the bill while Trump funneled government money back into his properties. He wasn't serving the public, he was billing them. This isn't leadership, it's looting. I used to believe the GOP would hold its own leaders accountable, that no matter how flawed a man was, if he abused power, he'd be stopped. I believed that until January 6th, until the tax cuts for the rich, until we were told the economy was better off under Trump, as if we forgot the double-digit unemployment, the bleach comments, or the shutdowns he failed to lead us through. Until I saw the party normalize corruption by sheer volume. So much of it so fast that people stopped caring. That's the strategy. Flood the system with scandal until the public goes numb. But I refuse to be numb. Because this isn't just about Trump, it's about what we allow the presidency to become. The president has the power to spend billions, to oversee the criminal justice system, to deploy troops, to set the moral tone of the nation. We don't give that power lightly. And we don't give it to someone who sells it off piece by piece for personal gain. I didn't leave the Republican Party because I changed. I left because the party did. Because it turned its back on democracy. Because it bowed to a man instead of standing for a principle. Because it became complicit in corruption. We've never had a president auction off meetings in the White House, or turn foreign policy into a business deal, or spend nearly a quarter of his presidency golfing while claiming to work harder than any president in history. And we've never had a party so proudly help him do it. This isn't about being liberal or conservative, it's about being honest. It's about being American. And if we don't fight this now, if we don't rally across party lines against this corruption, then we won't just lose a party. We'll lose the republic. And I refuse to be silent. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it gave you something to think about. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and comment what you would like to see next. See you next time.